And we are recording for video number 2.
Yay!
For City of Geek reviews in our vehicles with less people this time. Still in my car, so with me and Cody. Yeah, Matt's sleeping in the back now. We just got out of Nutcracker and the Four Realms, which we were the only people in the theater, which makes a wonderful time for riffing on it and talking about it as we go along. Too bad we can't just give you the audio of that, so we don't have to talk about this movie again.
We saw that motherfucker in 3D. 3D
and alone.
Yes.
Alone.
I mean, well, who doesn't want to go see a Christmas movie 6 weeks before Christmas at 9:15 on a Monday night?
Yeah. In the middle of Frenton, Washington. Well, the theater's pretty heavily trafficked. So, yeah. As we were alone there, as the movie kind of tanked this weekend, and as we were talking about riffing it, guys, it's not good.
Oh, fuck.
No, it's awful. It's like, I expected it not to be very good to start with. You know, with CGI mismatch, 2 directors over time.
Yeah.
But this is worse than I expected it to be. It's much more of a mess than I ever went in expecting.
It's definitely a movie. It's definitely a Christmas movie.
Ish.
Like adjacent.
Christmas takes place around it. Just like in the play and the other versions of the Nutcracker, which is this kind of based in. Like, I've seen the the ballet a couple times. The 2010 version, which is even worse than this one. And
God,
I haven't read the short story that this is apparently loosely based upon, but I'm pretty sure about a quarter of the way through, all of that gets kind of thrown out anyway. Because these plot points that happen in this, no way in hell can happen in anything that was written in 18...
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah, the movie, for me, it was the equivalent of eating a bunch of brightly colored Christmas candies. It was beautiful, but at the same time, you're just going to throw up because there's no substance.
Yeah, I figured you're either going with throwing up all those brightly colored candies, or your poop's going to be like Christmas colored.
Yes.
Well, no, however, this movie was incredibly entertaining in its badness.
Oh, yes.
If we weren't allowed to talk during it, if someone else is in there, I'd probably be stewing angrily by the end of the movie, because I wanted to release the awful. But since we were the only people in there, we had that release valve. So save it to home when you're drunk with a couple of your friends.
Yeah, this is not a theater movie.
As big and beautiful as it sometimes is, I'd say the beautiful with the asterisks, because it's obviously CG.
Yeah, it was so weird, though, but some of those shots were, like, really, really well done. Yeah. And then you would have shit that looked like it crawled out of the fucking 90s.
And especially, which weird is that it'd be from shot to shot.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was reshot, which is why we have 2 directors. That Lisa Hallstrom, who directed all sorts of things. Chocolat, What's Eating Gilbert Grape, Dear John, and a couple other smalty things from 10 years ago, and a fuck ton of ABBA videos. Yeah,
there's where his real claim to fame is.
Lots of ABBA videos, but strangely he didn't direct either Mamma Mia movies. And he should have with
Justice.
that. And then he shot the main portion of the film, and then Joe Johnston came back and filmed the reshoots separately, and that's why he has credit in the feature as a director, because he shot enough apparently to qualify as that instead of just doing reshoots. But it's both of them together rather than, say, Ron Howard replacing the guys who were fired off of Solo. Which also was a mixed bag of movie. That's besides the point.
I don't want to, like, guess, but it seems like a lot of the early stuff might have been reshot. Just because it seems like... Because Joe Johnston's about to direct that new Narnia movie that's coming out in a couple of years.
Yeah, and he directed before Captain America... Jurassic Park 3, The Rocketeer, which you should all go see, and the Bad Wolfman remake. So, I don't know, he seems to be more the effects end of things. Yeah. I thought he was more of the second half. And since
that's true.
Lance Hellstrom does more character stuff, I kind of thought maybe that's where the things went. Like, the action scenes are bad, so Disney brought... I don't know. Yeah, obviously we don't know.
Yeah, we don't really know, but it feels like a lot of this was Joe Johnston kind of experimenting on what he was going to do for Narnia.
Yes, he'll be doing the Silver Chair, I think, since that's where we're at in the series. But obviously not looking into that yet.
Speaking of that, they're going to keep that in the same continuity?
I don't know. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Of course, and then speaking of Narnia, it's something that we were referencing while we were watching. So now the story is older than Narnia. It's older than Oz. It's older than any other time someone wanders into a magical kingdom that we were unawares of.
Yeah.
But it still feels derivative of those things. Because now we have it in feature form after everything else previously. Therefore, we're automatically thinking this, like, girl wanders into, wintry land that's kind of slightly dystopic. That's Narnia.
Yeah.
Straight up. Or even at one point she says, I don't think we're in London anymore. To the Nutcracker. It's like, okay, so now you're just putting a lampshade on Oz. Something else that directly referenced there. So it feels like these other better movies, it's like the joke in Mystery Science Theater 3000, don't put a better movie in the middle of your bad movie. And that's what we're thinking about here.
Yeah. And this movie had so many groan-worthy lines.
That definitely tone deaf. Very tone deaf.
Yeah, there were a couple I'm like, that can't have... There should have been, like, multiple people looking at that.
Yeah. And, so we're going to get minor spoilery at the BS point. Probably get a little more spoilers as we go through through this. But what we're talking about here is that the Nutcracker is played by, presumably, African American. I don't know if he's from Britain or whatever, but a black male. And so he comes in and he wakes up and he's like, my queen, you're here to protect the realms. So we here have this, and he immediately says, I know my place.
Oh, God.
And I'm your servant, and this stuff. And I don't think, obviously, that's not what they're going for.
No.
But it also feels like someone should have looked at this a little bit more in this case, because it's coming off that way. Because as we find out, her mom either created, Clara, that's Mackenzie Foy's character, our lead, either created or found this other world already populated with people, or she populated it with people that she made. Either way, she's a queen / godlike creature for them. So it's kind of like
it's really,
there's very much a savior aspect.
Oh yeah,
to this.
It definitely starts very quickly in that regard. Like within 20 minutes, she's already wandering through the butthole tree, into Narnia. And next thing you know, she's in the middle of the fucking woods, and then within like it's so sudden. It's like she'll go from just discovering the place to like literally within a half an hour. Not even that.
She's the queen, and you need to save us.
Yeah,
we can't save ourselves. We need you, incoming British woman.
Yep. Yeah, so it definitely has that kind of. It definitely has like a colonial feel to it.
Yeah, and it gets worse as the movie continues.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then funny, some of the stuff that we were making fun of for that reason ended up getting called out later, being actually kind of plot pointy. But we didn't really actually go into the details of what's going on. Like a little bit of trailers go into it.
Yeah.
So Clara, played by Mackenzie Foy from she apparently is in the Twilight movies.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, her mom has just died, and her rest of her family's really sad about it. Like her dad's like really sad, and she, for some reason, being the smart girl, doesn't seem to realize it. She's the brainy, I don't care about beauty, one of her family. Then she got the older sister who's all about the dresses and the jewelry, and then younger brother who's there. It's kind of like Sansa and Arya in that case, I guess, with little less pointy things. Well, she does have the sword for most of the movie. And then so she goes to her godfather or uncle in the original story, I think. Dostelmeyer, I think his name is, Morgan Freeman's character, who kind of just pushes her, says, follow your mom's present, because her mom left her a present with the egg that she can't open.
Yeah.
And then that's how she ends up in this world, which apparently he knows all about.
And at no point does she question it.
Yeah.
She just wanders through, oh wow, there's a whole ecosystem in here, and now there's a mouse.
There's a mouse monster.
Yep, there's a mouse monster. Yeah, within like 5 minutes, she's already wandering into woods and stuff. It's like it really does go conveniently quick. Like there's really no time to take in the scenery in a lot of scenes, which should be in a movie like this.
Yeah, it's only at 99 minutes we don't get into the four realms until like about 25 minutes in.
Yeah.
We spend about a little over an hour or something there before we come back to the real world for the end. Now she's learned her lesson, and goes back to reconnect with her family, who oddly enough don't really have analogs in the other world as movies like this tend to.
Yeah,
instead of this, and that's kind of weird to kind of maybe see it. And it's not saying that maybe that's not where they wanted to go, but these type of movies tend to have like the obvious connections between people.
Yeah.
Like that ball is really much an Oz thing, but we don't get that.
And you were
here.
there. And you were there.
It was so much better.
You guys actually weren't anywhere near. I'm gonna go back there.
Yeah, and I'm more fun over there. I'm there. I'm queen.
Yeah.
Here I'm maybe ignored middle sister. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
not really well written.
She just like inherits that too. They just like don't even question it. Don't even like no proof or anything. Oh, I'm this person. Oh, well, you are God now. Come sit on the throne.
And so maybe we get into a little bit of spoilers here to get into where that leads into. Which,
yeah.
Interesting. I found it really fun that we brought that up as we were discussing in the movies going on. It's like, this is definitely an issue. It turned out to be the issue. So like in Narnia, the amount of time that she spends there, the time moves slower or faster in the world or whatever it is. The point is, like, if for every like hour she spends in our world, like years go by there.
Yeah.
Like hundreds of years. As in the second Narnia book when they go back, and now it's been 1,000 years, but been like a year in their time. So Clara's mom discovered / found whatever this world, but hasn't been back since she's a kid. Now she's an adult with 3 grownish kids, growing kids, and she's died. So now her daughter goes back. So now it's probably been hundreds of years, thousands of years.
Yeah.
They're like, oh well, you're back.
Wait, no, I think she went there as an adult because they had a portrait of her.
Oh yeah, they did, yeah. But in the flashback, she made it sound like
she hadn't been there.
That she hadn't been there. Like, I discovered this land, and
this movie doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, like it's about between creation and finding this world. It goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, it was really weird because, like you're saying, they never settled on it. Is she the creator? Is she the discoverer? They go back and forth.
It's what they need from scene to scene. Like, 'cause she built this machine, this allspark, that creates and takes away life, and also biggins and big and smallens other things, depending on what we exactly need it for. Which has the same key on it that the egg that her mom gave her does. So that's why she's there. She's looking for the key that Helen Mirren's rat steal from her. And then, but the people telling us this are the Sugar Plum Fairy, played by Keira Knightley, along with Richard Grant as an ice guy, and another dude.
I do not know who played the Flower King.
But he's so 90s gay, guys. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was like
He's the Flower King. Like, Chandler Bing needs to be, like, afraid of him.
Yeah. And, like, for a movie called The Four Realms, they are in, like, none of the movie.
Yeah, we see the land of amusement, Helen Mirren's realm, and then the castle in the center of them.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, there's flashes to the other people's realms, but they kind of drop in and out. It almost feels like the next stories are supposed to take place in the other realms, because they're going to try and franchise this, right?
Ugh, gross.
I don't think it's going to happen.
No, this movie's not made a lot of money.
Made $20 million out of a $130 million budget.
And that's not even considering the marketing. Because, I mean, they didn't market it, but they marketed it.
Yeah, with Disney, I think it feels like Disney's kind of just throwing it out. Since in 2 weeks you get Wreck-It Ralph. A month
they
now
dumped it.
Mary Poppins 2. It's kind of like, just go, done, see what happens.
I feel like this will be popular possibly overseas.
Oh,
this feels like a John Carter type situation where...
John Carter was a good movie, fuck you.
I never even saw it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's one of those things where I definitely feel like this might have a niche audience overseas. Because that's where that story is kind of from anyway.
Yeah.
But here...
I want the riff tracks. I'll buy that.
Oh, fuck yeah. I mean, it was just... The movie is just so weirdly... like that first act, where she goes from being... she starts... Keira Knightley gets introduced, who just... She was the one chewing the scenery.
Exposition. Yeah, chewing the scenery.
Not Helen Mirren, which I was very disappointed in.
The trailer really leads up Helen Mirren to be, like, our main villain and, like, ripping everything apart. And then, so...
And now we're going to go into heavy spoilers.
Helen Mirren isn't the bad guy. It's Keira Knightley.
Keira Knightley is the bad guy.
And it's really obvious in, like, the second scene we meet her in.
Yeah. Because really, once she's so willing to let this teenager go fight her war for her, I'm like...
She's, like, literally hands her the sword and says, go fight this war. That Helen Mirren started. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Good accent.
And it was so weird. It was just like, and that was during that really weirdly edited portion, like where it looks like Keira Knightley and Mackenzie Foy are by themselves in a room getting ready for the ball, and then they pan out and they're in front of a whole fucking crowd.
And what's weird about those scenes, I know we're going back a little bit, but like it feels like the camera moves over like 2 feet, like they're recreating the shot that they did previously, but doesn't have what they were looking at. So it's like, it's weird, and it's obvious that Mackenzie Foy's grown between shots because she was, she's like 13, 14, so she's growing.
Yeah. So, I mean, if the reshoots took place, 6 months, a kid can grow pretty big.
Exactly. And then, so what's weird, so it turns out she's the villain, and but we realize that when she's telling the story of the 4 realms, like, well, we're hearing one person's side. We're not hearing Helen Mirren's side, like, at all. Like, what's Helen Mirren's, based upon what they're telling us, Helen Mirren has no motivation. Yeah. So therefore, oh, okay.
Yeah, it was one of those things where it's like you could definitely tell, like, I'm like, is Helen Mirren's going to turn out to be the hero? Because they're not even showing her side. Yeah. She never got that villain establishing, and I mean, it goes. It's pretty obvious pretty quick.
Yeah, it's not really much spoiler once the movie gets going, if you know where this is going.
Although when Keira Knightley finally goes full villain,
she does the full villain turn with the way that she speaks and changing everything.
And it gets really, like, oddly sexual.
Yeah, she turns into kind of Megan Mullally on Parks and Rec. Yeah. Hello, boys! I know always a well-dressed soldier around.
Makes me quiver.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, what the fuck? This is a kid's movie.
It's like, yeah, and she just completely changes how she is. It's like... But then she brings up the point of, like, your mom was our god and she abandoned us. Yeah. It's like, at this point we're like, crap, is she, like, so if her mom was God and now she's coming back in as the daughter, as the child, is Keira Knightley gonna crucify her?
Well, and literally, like, that emotional scene where she's like, she abandoned us, comes 2 minutes after she makes a, well, it's nice of you to drop in pun.
Like, her voice gets really high and it's like, it's so weird, like, and she's obviously, like, floating around these, like, badly animated screens, but like the wires are barely gone. It's like it's ridiculous, and it's hilarious in its ridiculousness. This is why you need to see it if it's any for the fun. But
there are, like I said, there's some really, really well done CG shots, but there are a lot of just garbage, like where she's flying around and it just looks absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, the background is like episode 1 background level. Yep. Like, and like the scene when they're all locked, when she locks up Richard Grant, the flower dude, and the Nutcracker, hey, the main title character, in that room in the attic. Supposed to flashback to her being in the attic before. I don't know. It's obviously like episode 1 level CG, like the palace at the end, which in episode 1 is slightly either version, but like that's a computer generated set from Final Fantasy VIII. It's like they ran out of money and just kind of didn't care. Or I figured, like, or the clockwork scene when they're up in the
the
clock.
God, that's even so worse. Bad.
That's where we figured out the villain turn too.
Yep.
And then that is just, it's bad, and it's like PlayStation bad, as essentially just said.
Yeah. And I mean, where did the money go? If they put $130 million into this damn thing, where did the money go?
Just dumping it in and hoping they can fix it. Who knows? Maybe someone's running off with the money. It looks like something got out because we're getting a bunch of cars around here, so sorry for that. Speaking of like the climax, I'm really disappointed that not only, which we were always disappointed that we didn't get Helen Mirren chewing the scenery because she plays it pretty low. Though her minions are pretty cool. So all the scenes that actually take place in the land of amusement are really cool. Like, there's a good design there. It's only the one little bit, so it isn't like a lot of work being done. In which they kill a bunch of the soldiers, or they get taken away and they never see them again.
Yeah, they get like,
and they're really
sucked
unsure
underground by these
like,
rats.
Okay. We see two of these supposed to be
the bumbling cops.
Bumbling cops types. From Halloween 3 or the new Halloween, or even like the soldiers and the sailors and Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, supposed to be those type of characters, but they're barely seen. It's almost as like there's wanted to be more of them, and they end up cutting them out because they were useless to the plot because everything else was. But yeah, So Helen Mirren is captured after whipping a bunch of things. So it gets oddly sexual from her too.
Yeah, she just starts. Apparently, she has got a whip now.
She's got whip powers. I think it was like her hair or something like that. But like Keira Knightley has her tied up by her own whip and puts her underneath the embiggening machine. So she said, "I'm going to shrink you and make you back into a toy," because at this point they were former toys. It became real. It somehow became flesh, but that's a whole different David Cronenberg thing.
Yes.
Which we looked at, I was like,
that's a prequel I want.
Because like when Keira Knightley turns everything else from a toy into life, they stay toy-like, the wooden soldiers or the tin soldiers.
Yeah. They
don't gain flesh, but these things were former toys that are now flesh. But it's been also hundreds of years, so maybe that'd be an interesting concept. Like something's gonna be a toy. It's Pinocchio, right?
Kind of like,
but long form Pinocchio. But anyway, so she has Helen Mirren all tied up, and then earlier in the film we saw Clara fix something by making it go backwards instead. So okay, she's gonna reverse the machine to make Helen Mirren embiggen, so we're gonna get her smashing everywhere, because we got to see a little bit of that with a Big Ten version of her smashing stuff.
Yep.
But no disappointment.
Nope.
We just make
it just moves her, and then Keira Knightley could have moved out of the way.
Yeah, it's like,
she's got wings.
What?
So what have you done?
And then gets porcelain, and they don't even smash her.
Oh, I would have smashed her hardcore, because I mean, I think her overall plan was to put everybody back to being toys.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Like everyone's motivations were what?
It's really weird.
Like, yeah, why did she want to destroy the realm?
Yeah, because I mean, like she was mad at the mom.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna take it out because you abandoned us by destroying everything. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's like everything was moving along just fine. She was like, without the key, what was she trying to do?
Yeah.
I have literally no idea.
That could be the title of this movie. I literally have no fucking idea.
Yeah.
And
god damn, it's a mess.
And the key, this entire movie looks like a butthole, and that's all I could think about. It was the Greendale butthole flag from Community.
I was thinking of this, the tree that you go in. Were you saying the tree or the key?
The tree and the key.
Yeah, because I was thinking the tree, like the way that it's lined, is like, oh god. It's right after, but I don't know, some weird stuff in there, like, but yeah, there's so much like set up that feels like you're gonna come back to later, but don't. Like, and the fact that Philip, the captain, is just a nutcracker, is not everything to do with it. Like, of course, it'd be really stupid to have him walk around with that rah, 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 rah. But it's still,
yeah,
like,
he's just a dude.
He's like, you're a nutcracker. He's like, yes, I am. But there's nothing to indicate that that's what the toy he was built out of was. Because the brother gets a nutcracker toy, which assumes like, if this was a dream, was her impetus of that, which is not a dream, in fact.
Yeah, I was felt
like that was felt like to be at some point, but they decided to abandon it.
Yeah.
But the nutcracker that her brother gets, that she sees for a quarter of a second, doesn't look like him at all. But I was thinking about that because like the brother gets the nutcracker, her sister gets dresses, and then Keira Knightley dresses her up when she gets there. So okay, this relates. But there's that weird kid who just shoves one in her face too at the party. Out of nowhere. It's like, remind you, it's a Nutcracker movie.
Yeah. There's like a couple jump scares in this movie.
But I wanted to talk about being a Nutcracker movie, and they keep saying it's not the ballet, There is some ballet in there.
Yeah.
Which they sadly don't let us really see, but
Yeah, no, I wanted to see more of that. I thought that was actually quite well done, and it looked nice.
It jumps in and jumps away, and every time it does that, it goes to an odd angle or something off the side. Because they got the lead ballet dancer in there, the lead ballerina, is like the first African American ballet dancer for the Sporting Company. I'm not sure. I looked into it before, I forgot. And she was amazing. And like when she showed up, like, and she just started doing dancing, like, yes, just stay here, but no, we got to cut to other things. Because I've seen a couple ballets. They're not really my cup of tea, but they're impressive. Yeah. The amount of stuff that these people do is impressive as hell.
I was impressed that she was very, very good at that dancing, and I'm like...
But she doesn't factor in the plot at all. Like,
no. Gone. I mean, it's like... It felt like there was no point to it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's just thrown in there to give you the backstory a couple different times. That's it. It's so much exposition.
Yeah, it's like they know they have to build this world, and they just do it in like the most easy way. Just like... A long time ago, your mother was our queen.
And, yeah, she tells it, other people tell it, the then Helen Mirren tells a slightly different version of it, and then it's kind of. But yeah, the movie is a goddamn mess.
Oh, start to finish.
And it's all based on the trailers. Like every time I saw a trailer, I was like, this movie is just an overly produced CGI mess. That's like the Alice in Wonderland movie from a couple years ago. But that movie made money hand over fist. The sequel, this went thumb.
Well, I mean, you have that whole edgy Hot Topic kids. They're not going to go see this.
Alice in Wonderland is like the one movie I actually left in the middle of the movie because I got called in to watch because I was in the Navy at the time, and I actually went back and finished it, so I have no idea about the last act of that movie. And I never saw the sequel. But this is obviously in that same era, and I think they're trying to get what they can before Wreck-It Ralph and Mary Poppins comes in and takes all their stuff. Do we want to close up thoughts on?
Yeah. It's definitely worth seeing, but it's definitely not in the theaters. Wait for it on Netflix, or if you can find it in a bargain bin, because it's fucking insane. I mean, it's not a good kind of insane, but it's entertaining.
If it went like 3 more steps into the insanity, it might be
if they had turned into it rather than tried to like walk a line, it didn't work in anything, but it's definitely was worth the watch.
So yeah, go wait to see this. So other things that are playing, like go see Suspiria and Halloween. Of course, 2 different types of movie completely. Bohemian Rhapsody's out. Neither of us has seen it, but we've heard pretty good things.
I've heard more mixed, but
yeah. Free Solo's out. There's so many better things to see.
Shit, I mean, even if you want a Christmas movie, wait a week or wait 3 days for The Grinch,
which he's way more excited about than I am.
Yeah.
Do we? So we're gonna. I guess we'll cut it off there. Normally, I want to talk about trailers, but it's kind of the same stuff that we talked about on our podcast. Hey, check out our podcast.
Yeah, pretty much. There's nothing like. I will say that Dumbo looks like it's either going to be really good or a fucking mess.
I'm betting on the second half, but anyway, we'll find out in April or whatever. Because we finally saw the Aladdin trailer the first time.
Yeah.
Doesn't really give us. This is teaser. It says, "Hey, Aladdin's coming out."
Aladdin 4, Jafar may need glasses.
But anyway, yeah, so if you're coming to this from the YouTube channel, if you actually liked and subscribed to our Halloween video, thank you for coming through there. Don't forget that you can find us at cityofgeek.com and on Facebook and on Twitter, Instagram. Tumblr. You can find it, the City of Geek, not a plural, just cityofgeek.com. Find us on there. We actually brought our little logo guy today.
The Cogger.
Yeah, sir. It doesn't really quite fit. Get the 3D glasses on for his bad 3D. And the 3D was...
yeah, we saw it in 3D. I think I said that, but yeah, no. Yeah. Fuck, I was worth that.
But yeah, this... and of course, we're a new channel, so there's only a couple things up there. We're going to get the lighting worked out. We'll get the video worked out for next time. Obviously, more than 16 minutes this time and less people if you watch the Halloween video. So, like, comment, share, subscribe. Yeah, so the algorithm sees us. We're going to try to put more videos up as we watch movies.
Hi, Mom.
And then, probably the only people watching this are people who know us.
Hi, Carolyn.
Anyone from a crypto conference or what have you. But yeah, Nutcracker and the 1.5 realms.
Yeah.
Not really worth your time unless you're watching it at home. And peace.
Peace
and
out.
Find Kim stuff somewhere.